Imagine riding the same bike for 6 straight hours, no brakes, no mercy, full send, and the thing never misses a beat. That's exactly what happened when Suzuki threw a bunch of journalists into a full-blown endurance race to prove a point about their returning legend. And yeah, I was one of those journalists. So let's talk about the 2027 Suzuki GSX-R1000R for letters. That's all it takes. GSX-R, say the word Gixxer anywhere on the planet and every motorcycle nerd in the room immediately knows what you're talking about. This thing has been a cultural icon since the GSX-R750 showed up in 1985. Then in 2001, Suzuki dropped the GSX-R1000 and the litter bike wars. They exploded. But here's the thing that doesn't get talked about enough. Suzuki hasn't just been fast. They've been durable fast. 21 World Endurance Championship titles since 1983. 15 of those won on the GSX-R1000. In endurance racing, it's not just about who's quickest, it's about who's still running at the end. And the Gixxer has been answering that question for decades, but then things went quiet. Since 2022, the GSX-R1000R disappeared from European markets entirely. Couldn't meet the tightening Euro 5+ emissions regulations. While it kept going in the US, its global presence, especially in racing-heavy markets, basically evaporated. For a bike with this kind of legacy, that stung. So Suzuki went to work. The mission was simple but not easy: bring the GSX-R1000R back, make it legal. And don't kill what makes it special in the process. Now let's be clear up front, this is not a ground-up redesign. The frame, swing arm, suspension, mostly carried over. But where Suzuki focused their energy is inside the engine, and that's actually where it matters most. New finger followers for better valve control. Larger exhaust valves going from 24mm to 25mm so the engine can breathe better. New forged pistons that are 3 grams lighter each and reshaped for a higher compression ratio. Up from 13.2 to 1 to 13.8 to 1, that means more bang every time the plug fires. They also put in a new crankshaft with thicker journals for better durability, redesigned crankcases, and a revised lubrication system to keep everything happy under extreme use on the intake side. The throttle bodies grew from 46mm to 48mm. Fuel injectors switched from 10-hole to 8-hole design with a new fuel pump for more consistent delivery. And the exhaust, completely new. Bigger catalytic converter positioned closer to the engine for cleaner cold starts. The muffler shrinks from 8.3 liters down to 5.5, and it's longer and slimmer than before. Still chunky though. The internet will have opinions. Now, peak numbers: 192.3 horsepower at 13,200 revolutions per minute and 81.1 pounds-ft of torque. That's actually down from the previous 199 horsepower and 86 pounds-ft, but honestly, don't get too caught up in that. The spread of power is better. The mid-range is stronger. And Suzuki built this engine with race teams in mind, meaning there's serious headroom. To wake it up further with cams and tuning, the electronics got a massive overhaul, and this is where the 2027 bike really steps forward. The whole Suzuki Intelligent Ride system got reworked around an updated 6-axis IMU that's lighter and more precise than before. 3 ride modes, B and C, all tuned for better throttle response. Mode A is nearly a direct one-to-one throttle. Mode B softens initial delivery. Mode C softens it even more. All 3 eventually give you full power. The headline feature is the new Smart TLR Control, traction control, wheelie control, and roll torque control, all working together as one integrated system. The downside: they're linked, so you can't adjust them independently. Change your TC setting and everything shifts with it. Not ideal. But in practice, the calibration is genuinely impressive. It works with you, not against you. The CABS module got updated software too and lost 51 grams. The quickshifter got revised for smoother up and downshifts with 2 settings, one for street, one for track. and launch control got recalibrated for more predictable delivery off the line. The chassis itself is familiar, same frame, same swing arm, same Showa suspension setup. But the R model does get steel-braided brake lines and winglets this time around, borrowed straight from Suzuki's endurance racing program. Suzuki claims the winglets reduce front lift by 8.4%. Whether you can actually feel that is debatable, but they look cool. And there's a new lithium-ion battery replacing the old lead-acid unit. That alone cuts 6 pounds. So back to that race. Suzuki hosted what they called the 6 Hours of Suzuki at Circuito Monteblanco in Spain. 6 teams, 3 riders each, 1 GSX-R1000R per team, Le Mans start and everything. Real endurance format. My team ran Mode B with TC at level 3 conservative but smart for 6 hours of riding. The mid-range and bottom end on this engine are genuinely strong. Rolling out of corners, the power delivery is smooth and accessible in a way that lighter bikes usually aren't. Mode B did have a slight dead zone that forced you to pre-turn the throttle a bit earlier than normal, and on the front straight riders in Moto would slowly inch away. Top end isn't the story here. Usable, manageable power is. The chassis is as neutral and predictable as the GSX-R has always been. Turn-in is easy, mid-corner stability is reassuring, transitions feel smooth. Not the sharpest tool in the class, but incredibly easy to ride fast and consistently. The bars are a bit narrow, which makes you rely more on lower body input, and that gets tiring over long stints. The brakes got absolutely hammered, scrubbing from 160 miles per hour down to 40 miles per hour at turn 1, lap after lap, for 6 hours. Initial bite is softer than race spec, but the steel-braided lines kept lever feel consistent throughout. And the cornering ABS. It's a highlight. Light, high-frequency feedback through the lever when it activates. Informative, not intrusive. Even at the tail end of my stints when my hands were tired and my braking wasn't precise, the front never protested. All 6 bikes finished. 0 crashes. 0 mechanicals. Our team finished 4th, and apparently the top 4 were separated by just 1 mile on the trip meter after 6 hours. The 2027 GSX-R1000R isn't trying to be the most extreme bike in its class. It's not going to top every dyno chart or win every spec sheet comparison, but it's back, legal, refined, and ready. The electronics are genuinely modern now. The engine prioritizes real-world usable power. The chassis is as forgiving and capable as ever, and pricing should be competitive in a segment that's getting increasingly expensive. It's like catching up with an old friend who just came back smarter and more sorted than before. The Gixxer is back, and it's got a point to prove.